I'm here.
I'm here too. That's two of us.
Two of us are here.
In the same place at the same time.
So this is my friend John.
Hello.
John has this lovely Corvette.
Hello, Corvette.
We have, basically, we've come to record a podcast and then at the same time gone, why don't we do some video? So this is what we're doing. We're going to have a look around John's Corvette. We're going to take it for a drive. But what John's going to do now is he's going to tell us about this Corvette because it's quite special and it's got quite a cool kind of story to it, and the plan for it is quite interesting. So
The vibe.
Well, it's not even the vibe. You've actually got an actual plan for it.
Yes, which is quite unusual for me.
So
Plans and me don't normally get on.
if you wouldn't mind,
Sure.
Where's this come from? Where's it going, and what's Cotton Eye Joe in?
Okay, so it's a 62 Corvette. Came into the country in 2012, from what I understand, and was built specifically as a car to race at Le Mans Classic for a Argentinian chap, which was carried out in the UK. So it's been built as a very, very, very accurate replica of the Scuderia Scirocco 62 Corvette, which raced at Le Mans in 62. It's very, very accurate. There's a couple of tiny bits that are not quite there, which will be by the time it's finished in my hands. But yeah, it's super accurate. In terms of the car, obviously original 62 Corvette, hard top. It's the 327 fuel engine, so fuel injection, generating somewhere around 375, 400 brake horsepower.
It's quite a lot in a big old bus like this.
It's a lot when you consider it's all going through the equivalent of about 205 tyres on the back of it. So it's very easy to brake traction. They're not very...
Yeah, they're very narrow. Mine, the 86 is just over there. That's on 255s, and that's only got 200 brake.
Yeah, it's designed... cars of this age have got very poor brakes. This has actually got drum brakes completely all round, which makes it very interesting. But they were designed to race on the tyres. The tyres are actually what we have to use for racing, which are CR65s, Dunlops, and they're designed to be sticky and slip and so on and so forth. So when you watch old car racing in period from the 60s and indeed historic racing now, they do tend to take a slightly oversteering angle into most corners rather than actually sticking to the road. They're designed to slide around, and this one does that very well. Perfect. So lots of neat little bits on it, but it's I haven't had it that long. It raced at Le Mans in 2018. It raced at Donington 2018. It's raced at Goodwood Revival 2017-18. There's lots of footage of it online racing at Goodwood and at Le Mans. So yeah, very sort of well-known car.
Amazing. One of the fun things that I asked immediately was, what's this? And there's one on the back, and what they are the lights for the numbers, because at Le Mans you race for 24 hours and you need to be able to see what number you are. So this is actually a light.
Yeah.
Which is very cool, which keeps it in that period correct.
Yeah,
kind of essence.
It's one of those things that I only know that because I went to Bicester many, many moons ago as a guest of Porsche, and when they had the fire station there, and they had the Le Mans 924 Carrera GT, or maybe even GTS. Somebody will know. I don't. It's a 924 that looks really cool.
And
on the side of that, no idea.
Oh, okay.
On the side of that, they had exactly the same. They had a light on here. Theirs is actually a hella light off the wingtip of a plane, which is far cooler.
So cool.
And I do very occasionally look through eBay to see if I can find one, but I never have.
No.
But I do quite fancy that idea. So yeah, that's the only reason I know what that's for. And there's also one on the back, which again just illuminates the number on the back for
So it's
for
this
Le Mans.
thing here. If the camera will pick it up, I'll try and get closer.
And the silly screen on the front here is again. I believe
is that to catch all the flies?
Yeah, specifically for Le Mans is you catch the flies, so as you go into the night you haven't got flies all over your screen so you can't see, or indeed for racing anywhere in the summer you don't get flies all over the screen.
I guess that's why they have those rip-off covers.
Yeah, why they have the
it?
rip-off visors now, which they didn't have then. So yeah, it's again quite interesting in that respect.
It's incredibly cool.
Just
And
silly little things.
so what's the plan with this?
So,
Because it's not just for you to go racing in, is it?
Well, I won't go racing because I'm old, fat, slow, and not a very good driver, if I'm totally honest, and don't like speed. However, so the plan is twofold. One is I've been helping out on a upcoming TV programme, Paddock Speed Shop, and we have plans for it to race in the tail end of Series 1, which we'll be filming imminently. And then on top of that, we've got the idea of what we call the Race Odyssey. And the idea basically is that if you wish to race a vintage car in with the best of vintage hardtop GTs, then the car would be available to hire as a supported car as long as you have the relevant licenses and the necessary foldy stuff to make it happen. Then we can supply you with a car basically fully supported at any racetrack theoretically in the world. It's eligible to race at, the very highest level of GT racing. So it did the Kinrara Cup at Goodwood in 2018. For example, it's not entered into Goodwood, and I have to stress that.
But you have to be invited to race at Goodwood.
Yes, exactly. And we've not got an invite, and we've got no intention of getting an invite unless that, something quite magical happens.
Yeah.
But it would be eligible to race in the TT. So you're talking about the 250 GTOs, you're talking the lightweight E-types, all the big Cobras, basically anything you ever wanted to race if you're racing at that period. That's your sort of competition. And from previous experience running a slightly different engine, it was running a slightly less powerful engine in 2018 on carbs with the Fuelie system in it. It finished 30th at Le Mans 2018 out of a field of 60, 70, so it wasn't bad at all. It's a very
capable
it's never
car.
going to be it's never going to be a front runner because it's not. It's big, it's heavy, and compared with the Cobras and everything, it's underpowered. As a historic car, it has to be as it was in those days. You can't just shoehorn a big block in it and a load of nitrous and great big tyres and
off you go.
Uprated suspension and everything else. That's not what happens. It's totally out of my wheelhouse. I'm not I'm going to say a Corvette man.
No, well, we are going to record a podcast.
I do love it.
we're about to record after we've done this, but we're playing with the sunlight still being
or
here.
with the grey, overcast,
but
it's snow light.
It is at least daylight, so we're going to do this, and then we're going to record the podcast. So we are going to have an actual full-on chat about cars. So go and listen to that after you've watched this video.
Yeah. And the advantage of the podcast is you don't get to see my stupid face.
You can't see either of us looking all windswept.
Or for that matter, Lewis's stupid face.
Yeah. I might go and put a beanie on it. It's so windy.
He is windswept and interesting today.
Oh, I wish. But no, thank you so much for letting me poke around it, B, for taking me for a spin, and C, for standing and chatting about the car.
Don't worry, no, enjoyable.
So
it can be.
I think what's probably worth us jumping to then is let's go to some footage of it out on the road.
Come on,
Quite loud then.
just a bit.
The microphones are set to minus 30 decibels and it's still hitting the top end.
Excellent.
So then, I don't know how much audio we're going to get.
Not a lot.
It's not a very good podcast car.
No, we won't. There's no point doing the podcast in here. It's not going to happen. We're not talking to each other at all. Need more than a 70s muff mic to do that. I'm not actually sure how much fuel's in this.
Should we make that our destination?
That'd be a bad idea because it's only got a 25 litre tank and it doesn't have drinking when it's just sat about. Although I filled it up the other day and it's only been to Bradford on Avon and back.
How far is that?
7 miles. That should be okay. It might be worth just going and putting a... The only thing is we'll have the same problem starting it again.
It does diminish the cool value when you're sat cranking.
Yeah, it does.
How long does it take for these seats to become uncomfortable?
It's not the seats that become uncomfortable. It's like in the passenger seat, because it's set up slightly different, but this is really, it's like upright like a race car. So where you've got this,
Yeah.
the roll cage, it's sort of that crossbar here causes all sorts of nonsense when it comes to mounting seats. So I put these in so I can have 2 people in it to go out on track.
Yeah.
Just for tests and stuff, but in reality, when it's racing, I'll have just a single tillet
Yeah.
racing in there, which again is going to be very upright, which isn't, I think, going to be the best for most people, but we'll see. Whoever had it beforehand, it was very upright.
Yeah. Thing is, you're limited on space for how much seat and helmet and things you can get in.
Yeah, well, this is it. So at the moment, it's just set up so that it makes it usable to drive with 2 people in, so that we've got almost like a baseline for where things are.
Yeah.
You know, I can't stress how bad this car was set up, and it's still not good, but it's a million times better than it was.
Right. This bit's just going to be all noise. It's just going to be engine noise the whole way.
Yeah. That's probably not a bad thing.
No. Better than my voice.
That might.
If I was much taller, I would smash my head every time you put your foot down.
Yeah.
So I can hit the bar with my head now.
Yeah, I can as well. I'm way in there. I'll have a big dent on the bar. I've got some covers for the bars at the workshop.
Yeah.
And I'll have to put them on, because otherwise I'll damage my helmet.
I can imagine this to be a bit of a handful when it gets a bit damper.
It's scary. It's scary in the drive. It's a scary car. I mean, we're doing, what, 35 miles an hour. Every little crevice in the road, every single little dip,
Is it pulling us around?
pulls it around. The back end sort of tends to move across that way when it pitches something.
I bet on track it's a completely different feeling though.
Yeah. Time to change your underpants. Yeah, I think the first time I go out on track with, you know, a proper driver,
Yeah.
I shall be rather scared. I think is probably the best phrase.
A friend of mine does race instructing.
Oh yeah.
He does a lot of the driver training for that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And he came out with me at Brighton, and I spun on the sighting laps. So I hadn't let the tyres warm up, and it was damp. And as we were spinning, he went, "You know what you've done wrong there?" And I was like, "I'm still going wrong. Like, can we get this out of the way first?"
Yeah, can we try not to hit the wall
Like,
first?
it didn't phase him at all. It was just like, "Oh, you put your foot down too soon." I was like, I'm going backwards. Calm down." So another challenge is we've got big drum brakes, so you have to leave a good bit of distance between you and everybody else, just in case.
Well, the drum brakes are big, but they're rubbish,
Yeah.
as they are drum brakes.
So what we've done is gone down the tightest, narrowest downhill we could find.
Yeah, no, that's all right. This sort of is a circle back to the workshop.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, through the little villages.
Yeah. In a very wide left-hand drive racing car.
Yeah, this is not this car's ideal habitat, by the way. Single track.
Yeah. It's not really
country
stretching
roads.
into its limits, is it?
No, but it's probably more difficult to drive than it is on a straight road, to be fair.
Yeah.
I oversized it slightly. I went for the biggest, most powerful fan I could find to keep it cool. So it gets to 100, you know, it gets hot and gets up to, you know, sort of 100 degrees.
Yeah.
And then at 100 degrees, all of a sudden it's like, shit, put that fan on, it drops down to 60, which probably doesn't do it any favours really.